Hello everybody, this is Rada with the WoWCrusaders guides. Today I'll be going over tips and tricks to an Unholy DK in the PvP aspect of World of Warcraft. I'll be going over talents, glyphs, and what to reforge into as an Unholy DK. So to start off, we have a 2, 8, and 31 build. In the Unholy section, the top row we're going to have Unholy Command and Virulence. Basically what it's going to do is you're going to make your death coil 10% or 10 seconds less on the cooldown, and every time you kill somebody as a killing blow, it refreshes it completely. And Virulence, it increases your damage done by your diseases by 30%. Epidemic is not needed since it is a PvE talent. Now Desecration is the main move you're going to use as a DK to slow people down. What it does is every time you Plague Strike, Scourge Strike, or Necrotic Strike, it makes it so 7 yards around you is complete slow effects by 50%, so what you want to do to apply this correctly is you want to either train or follow the healer, or if you're being attacked, you basically can kite anybody, because as long as you're in front of them, you just turn around, smack them with Necrotic Strike, turn around, smack them with Necrotic Strike, and it applies this huge range of just slowing effect. And if you can spread this in a huge line, you have your healer go behind it, and if you have the healer drag the person trying to attack them through the Desecration, so the only way to be able to get to the healer would be through Desecration. Of course, it's only really going to help with melee, but, I mean, the best teams consist of melee, like freaking Ret Pally, Frost DK, and Shaman Healer, or Holy Paladin Healer. I mean, they dish out so much damage, it's stupid, so to be able to kite them properly is a good thing to know. Now, Resilient Infection is PvE, don't worry about it. Morbidity is one of the main moves, because Death Coil is our most used move, or most damage dealt move as an Unholy DK. For me, it's usually tipping about 23-24% of my overall damage. And also it makes it so it heals a bit more, and as Unholy DK we have a lot of heals through Lichborn and Death Coil, since we can spec into Death Coil healing so much. And that's basically that. Runic Corruption reduces the runic power cost of Death Coil by 6, and also your runic empowerment is kind of buffed, nerfed. I mean, instead of actually just completely recharging and refreshing all of your rooms, it just gives you extra rune regeneration by 100%. So, in this sense, it's kind of a nerf, but the main part, the decrease in the runic power is worth it for this. Unholy Frenzy, you can pop this on any one of your raid members, you can pop it on your ghoul. It just gives them extra haste. But it also hurts them a little bit of their health for every 3 seconds. So it's kind of like having a dot on them, but it's not going to kill them. They'll live. Shadow Infusion, every single time you Death Coil, it makes your ghoul 6% extra damage dealt. And once you get 5 stacks of it, it goes right into Dark Transformation move. And when you pop this, it gives your ghoul super strength, and it looks pretty cool, I won't lie. And all these new functions on your moves. Leap, it makes it so when you charge an enemy, it interrupts their spell casting and immobilizes them for 2 seconds. Gnaw, it makes it so that it strikes an enemy with a smashing attack, doing 125% of a normal melee damage, and stunning them for 4 seconds. And now their Huddle move unleashes a Fortify and Roar, reducing all damage taken by 50% for 10 seconds. No longer making them just sit there and do no actions, they just roar at the top of their lungs and they take less damage. Ebon Plaguebringer. Sorry, I skipped a couple stats. Anyway, Ebon Plaguebringer, Sun and Doom, and Rage of Rivendare. You can interchange these 3 stats. This is if you're more heavy on the melee. If you want to do more damage via Plague Strike, Scourge Strike, and Festering Strike, it'll go up to 45%. But you really want to just be spamming Necrotic Strike, because every situation is gonna be via Necrotic Strikes. So you want to have this instead. But it's all up to personal preferences. So now going back, Death's Advance. It makes it so when your Unholy Runes are depleted, your movement and parrying effects may not reduce you below 75% of normal movement speed. So, it's awesome. It's self-explanatory. Now, Magic Suppression. This is a big one. It makes it so your AMS completely absorbs all magic damage taken, and it generates runic power every single time it absorbs something. So you can plop Lichborn and this, and it's basically an infinite span of Death Coil on yourself for like the next 10 seconds, and it's so cool. So you heal a bunch. Unholy Blight, it applies a hot or a dot on a target, deals 10% of the Death Coil damage over 10 seconds, and the main thing about it is it makes it so it can't dispel any of the diseases for 10 seconds, and that's the coolest part. AMZ, you can pop it anywhere. It's a big AoE of damage reduction, so you can always pop it over your healer when they're taking a bunch of damage, and it makes it so they don't take as much damage. Improved Unholy Presence gives you 5% extra haste in Unholy Presence. Now these two, once again, you can interchange them. So now I'll go over them a little bit. Southern Dune makes it so whenever you auto attack, your next Death Coil could cost no runic power. It procs every now and then. It's not going to be a super procking thing, but I mean it'll proc often-ish. Evan Plaguebringer makes it so you do 15% less damage and 8%. I'm sorry. Your diseases do 15% more damage, and it makes it so all the damage taken via magic is increased to 8%. I think it's stupid to spec it twice because it's going to do. That point will do more in Sudden Doom, which is this talent right here. So, it's personal preference though, you can have either of these three. Now, Summon Gargoyle. This is a very good way to spread DPS and apply a lot of pressure on a healer. You pop this on a healer, send your Dark Transformation Goal on the healer, and have all of your DCs spread. The healer basically won't be able to catch up with healing, and something has a high probability of dying. So, it's very helpful. Now, in the Frost aspect of this talent spec tree, Runic Empowerment Mastery, Runic Power Mastery, Icy Reach are the top things. They're just fillers. You need to get into the second rank of Frost via these two. So, what it gives you is 30 extra Runic Power and 10 yards extra on your Icy Touch and Chains of Ice, which makes it, it's more helpful to be able to spread diseases. Lichborn, it's the most annoying DK move, personally, because it makes you undead, so you can't be charmed, you can't be feared, you can't go to sleep, you can break charm, you can break fear, you can break sleep effects, and you can just spam heals in yourself until the 10 seconds is over via Death Coil. So that's that. In this winter, you want this because all of your Mind Freezes no longer cost Runic Power, so that means it makes Mind Freeze reliable, and you can cast it whenever, and of course Mind Freeze is an uninterrupting spell at a melee range. Now Blade Armor is the last one I want you to spec into. It gives 4 extra attack power and 180 armor value. For every 180 armor value you have, self-explanatory, and I've seen a lot of DKs spec into Blade Barrier, which would give you 4% extra or less damage taken from all sources, but I mean it's either way. You can go into this or you can go into that. I mean, it's whatever. So now Glyphs. This is set in stone for the Prime and the Major. You want Death Coil, Raise Dead, and Icy Touch. The reason behind it is because you get more healing, more damage. Your Ghoul is stronger and has more health, and your Frost Fever has 20% extra damage. Death Grip makes it the range by extra 5 yards. AMS is up for 2 more seconds, and your Strangulate increases the amount of silence for 2 seconds if you're used to interrupt a target. Now these three, it really doesn't matter. The only one I want you to have is Depth and Embrace, because every time you heal your minion, it'll refund 20 runic power. So instead of costing 36 runic power to heal your minion, it'll cost 34 to heal your minion, it'll cost 14, which is a big difference. Now these two, it doesn't matter. I like Resilient Grip because it makes it so anytime my Death Grip fails due to immunities, it's just reset, and this because it's your Horn of Winter basically always going to be up. So now, to reforge into, all you need is a 5% hit cap for the 4.2 season, or 4.3 season, I'm sorry. Or is it? Okay, your hit cap wants to be 5%. I'm tipping 5.04. Makes it so they can never miss. I can never miss on 85. Your spell pin usually wants to be around 190, 170. A very good way to get this is to gem it, and to put an enchant on your cloak, or your cape. Your mastery should be about 9 to 10. You really want to get it as low as you possibly can. And that's basically it. Everything else you just want to spec immediately into haste, as long as you have your 10, as long as you have your 5% haste hit rating cap. For your meta gems, you want strength and 3% crit, and that's it. For enchants, your chest you want $20 stats. Your head head and shoulders you want the PvP enchants. For the wrist, you want 65 haste. For boots, you want the 50 haste. I know I have mastery. This used to be my frost spec. I've been low on money, so I don't have the haste. But you want 50 haste. You want 190 attack power and 55 crit on your legs. You want an element belt on your plate, and you want Rune of Fallen Crusader on your weapon. That is basically it for the Unholy DK. I will have a rotation video if you guys ever so want it. Please send me a message, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment in the section below. Please like this video, and share it, favorite it, do everything. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope this guide has helped you, and this is Rada with the WoW Crusaders Guides.